Are you ranking for the right keywords? Well, GummyCube can help your users find your app through search on the app stores. Ranking for the right keywords can increase your reach by 5 to 10 times what you currently have. So go and check out GummyCube. I highly recommend it. Go to www.gummycube, that's GUMMICUBE, gummycube.com, and go and check out their App Store optimization service. And thank you very much, GummyCube, for supporting this show. Let me thank my sponsor, AppPress. Are you a creative person? Do you want to get involved in this creative process of building apps? Well, how about this? You can build, edit, and update native mobile apps without knowing a single line of code free. It's all about dragging and dropping. The design of AppPress is clean, it's intuitive, the interface, that it really puts all the tools together that you need to build apps completely code free. And you can see what your app looks like as you're building it. It's great. I highly recommend going to AppPress. So go to www.app-press.com/features. That's www.app-press.com/features, all lowercase. And thank you very much to AppPress for supporting this show.
Hi, this is Tim Sinclair, founder and CEO of Ringer, and you're listening to the App Guy Podcast.
The App Guy Podcast, straight from your host, Paul, the App Guy, sharing his app entrepreneur journey with you for your enjoyment. And now, Paul, the App Guy.
Before I start the show, I do confess that I had a little bit of a technical issue with my microphone, so I've edited down my side a little bit just to make it a bit easier for you to listen to. You still get the content from the guest. I think it's still a very good episode. Apologies for a little bit of crackling on my side, but let me get into the episode now. Welcome to another episode of the App Guy Podcast. I'm your host. It's Paul Kemp, and I love this podcast. I seriously love it. I say every episode, it's a global podcast. We do go around the world, and that is what I'm doing for you. I go and interview and chat with some of the most interesting entrepreneurs that are just making inroads into what they're doing and crushing it. And when I say global, I mean global. So here we are. I'm chatting with someone who is calling in from Cambodia. Okay, so his name is Chris Reed, and he is the founder of Ardor SEO. You can go and actually check out his website just by going to ardorseo.com, and I'll have full show notes at theappguy.co episode 321, and you can get links to his website. Chris is here to talk to us about SEO, websites, and I think it's going to be very relevant to us app entrepreneurs. So, Chris, welcome to the App Guy Podcast.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So, I tell you, the thing that the listeners will be really wanting to know is that we are app builders. We do a lot of stuff with apps, but we do know that we need websites. We need websites to drive traffic to, because that ultimately then leads to more downloads. What could you help us with in terms of like just having a web presence and sending traffic to the websites?
Well, I mean, that's a pretty big open-ended question just there. But funnily enough, that's how I kind of got started in the game myself. Years ago, I'm a software engineer, and I was playing around building an online game, just kind of to learn some new skills. I'd never done internet programming before. And as the little game was coming to fruition, I started wondering, how am I going to get people to play it? And so I started researching about SEO, and then I developed my business from there. Obviously, if you're an app developer, I mean, you don't really want to be an SEO yourself, because it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole industry in itself. I mean, to keep it simple, you want to your app's out there solving some sort of problem, like whether it's to help scheduling or bookings of something or whatever your app does, then you should clearly have that on your website. So, because generally when people go to Google, they're looking to solve a problem. So they're typing in, how do you fix some scheduling problem, or how do you solve this? And so, if your website clearly states that that's what you do, then it should be pretty easy for Google to pick it up and show you at the top. But it depends again how competitive your niche is.
Yeah,
sorry, that's a bit.
No, listen, I mean it's actually really relevant, because what we're learning is that there's a big divergence between how people search on the app stores and how they actually search within Google. But you've just reminded me that, of course, all the apps tend to solve certain problems. Why are we not making more use of the internet and Google search and putting websites up that would then direct traffic to certain solutions of those problems that ultimately then go to the download page?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Google's trying to help the user. It's their goal to make search as easy as possible for the person that's visiting Google to find what they're looking for. So, generally, if you've got a niche app, there's not going to be that much competition in the marketplace, I dare say. I mean, if you had some sort of hotel booking app and you were competing with booking.com and hotels.com, then it's going to be different. But it's always every niche. It depends the value of that niche to how competitive the search is going to be. So, you got to work that out for yourself.
Right. Kris, I kind of skipped over this. And again, this is for an inspirational podcast. I've had people who are listening to this right now who have changed their lives because of listening to the guests. And you have a very inspirational life because you're there in Cambodia working with very good internet speed on an online business. Perhaps you could just take a minute to describe your surroundings and what it's like to actually be based in Cambodia.
Well, I first came to Cambodia about 4 years ago, and I was just kind of passing through on my way to the Philippines. I already had lots of online staff in the Philippines then, and so I was heading there because the Philippines has got excellent English skills, and I've been living there the last 3 years and built our office there, and it's growing really great. Our office manager, she worked for me online beforehand. She's been with us 6 years now, and she's able to manage the whole office without me there. I then came back to Cambodia because I really like it here. Plus, there's a lot more expats, so we're at that level that we can now afford to hire native English speakers, which is they generally have a bit better skill set, which is what we're after now. Like, since moving to Cambodia, which was in November, we only opened the office here in January, and since then we've hired Serge, our project manager. He's from Belgium, and he's got so much knowledge that we don't have. So he's bringing so much more to the team and allowing us to get a lot more out of our team and grow a lot faster.
So let me understand where you are in your entrepreneurial journey. Then you're building out your team from Cambodia.
Yeah, I mean, like as I said, there's so many expats because it's a really fun place to live, Phnom Penh, and so there's a lot of people that want to have experience something different. Like another guy that's just started working with us, he's a British salesman, and he works great. He now focuses on our British clients, because people always have a better rapport from people with their own country. So, like the majority of our customers are Australian because I deal really well with Australians. So I'm hoping that he'll have the same success in the UK and really grow our business there.
What sort of budget do you need to have to live there in Cambodia?
Well, it varies. I mean, that's one thing I do love about Phnom Penh is you can go get dinner for $1 or $2, and and then there's all the expensive restaurants where you can go and eat for. In fact, there was a French restaurant that nearly blew my head off the other day. And man, how you wouldn't find something this expensive in Paris. So it's got all ends. But generally, a nice restaurant's going to cost you about $5-6 for, a really nice meal. My best friend from university, we've both been building our own businesses over the last couple of years, and he's based in the UK these days, and it just blows my mind, like the struggle that he has, because he's got to pay for getting around the UK and living in the UK, and he's looking at hiring his first salesman now, and just the expense of it blows my mind. I'm like, wow, move out to Asia and hire 5 salesmen here.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about your journey then with Ardor SEO.
Well, I mean, SEO is an ever-moving game. It's kind of us against Google all the time. Google's trying to provide the best search without anyone doing anything, and that would work fine. But until someone starts doing SEO, then everyone has to do SEO. It's whoever's SEO'd their site the most, it's going to get all the traffic. And, every keyword's worth a lot of money. Like, plumber, New York, you imagine how much that's worth, But so what we generally do is we work with web design companies and SEO companies, and they deal with their customer and the on-page sort of stuff. So they make sure that the page is describing the products that the customer has and the solution that it fixes the problem and that kind of stuff. So Google knows what the page is about. And what we do is build the authority of that page and the trust of that page with off-page, it's called Offsite SEO. So one of the fundamental things with Google, so if you've got two websites that have pretty much the same product and the same quality, which one's it going to put on top of the other? It's going to be the one that has the most trust and the most authority. And that comes from who's linking to you. So you can imagine if you've got an app about, whatever, and the BBC has written an article about you and are linking to you, then that's going to give you so much trust and credibility with Google. So it's who's linking to you and who's talking about you that Google's looking at, and then they'll throw you on top of your competition. And That's what we do.
If you're genuine, hopefully there will be a genuineness come back, and you tend to get the best from the internet if you are open and genuine and transparent.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually got some evil guy at the moment that's kind of cyberbullying me and trying to harass me, and I just take it that I've got to a level now that I kind of have criticism. It makes me feel like a celebrity, You imagine how many people say bad things about Paris Hilton. Not that she's awesome or anything, but it's like, she's just got to deal with it. That's her celebrity status. And so if you're going to be on the internet at some point in time, someone's going to say bad thing about you. Does it really stop you doing what you're going to do?
How expensive is the whole SEO?
Oh, man, that's really hard. It's the return on investment. You can start off very small. You can go real big. You imagine how much corporations spend on SEO. But one thing that a lot of corporate companies is like Google AdWords and Facebook marketing, because you can instantly see what the results are. Like SEO is a lot. It's hard to judge what is getting you there because you have to do so many different things. Manipulate your website and make good content, get links there, and get social traffic, and your rankings go up. But it's hard to ascertain exactly what it was that made your rankings go up. And Google want to keep it that way. Like I think with Google's updates about 2 years ago when they brought in the penguin and panda, which really scared the devil out of everyone, was to shake a lot of money out of SEO. Because Google doesn't make any money from SEO. They make money from AdWords when people pay for advertising on Google. And so I think it scared a lot of people out of the SEO realm. So rather than, especially big business, they just don't want to touch it. They'd rather go and spend the money on AdWords because you know what you're going to get. I mean, it's very expensive, but if you spend $100, you're going to get X amount of clicks.
I mean, obviously our goal here for the audience is to send people to a website that ultimately gets them to click that little icon that says download our app. And it can either be the Google Play app or the Apple App Store app.
There's certainly split testing is very valuable. There is a tool that will come to me in a little bit. Neil Patel's tool.
Now he is an ex-guest on this show. So
yeah. Well, he
just reminded me. Yeah,
he's got a great tool for split testing. Maybe you should put it in the. It's got a really funny name, but anyway, maybe you should put it in the Crazy Egg. Crazy Egg. That's it. I finally thought of it. The thing that I wanted to kind of suggest is, this is what I did when we were quite small. And it could probably work in the app zone too, is know who your customers are, so know what they want, so you know about your app. But then you can also get their reviews. It's get them to like your Facebook page, get them to follow you on Twitter. Something I've been testing out with Twitter recently is I always get people following me, which I don't even tweet anything, so I'm not sure why. But I've been tweeting directly to the people that follow me and hashtag something like SEO or marketing or content marketing, and then I get a stream of new followers, and it just keeps growing. Yeah.
So let's break that down. So you get somebody who follows you. You then do an at back to them. Is this a physical thing, or are you using a tool to do it?
No, I'm doing it manually. So when someone follows me, I get an email, and then I send them a direct message through Twitter. It's public to everyone. I say, "Oh, thank you, Paul, for the follow. Hashtag SEO, hashtag marketing," and then 10 minutes later, I'll have 3 more followers.
Wow. Okay, there's a good tip.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like even those tweets, quite a few of them get favorited by other people. And I'm still trying to work out what's going on there, but it certainly builds your profile.
So let me thank my fantastic sponsor, GummyCube. GummyCube are the world's experts when it comes to App Store optimization. Now, I want you to think about how hard it is to convert potential users of your app if they're not even finding you. I mean, App Store optimization should be the starting point for any app. I mean, there's no point in having the world's best app if no one can actually find you in the App Store. So you need to be thinking about App Store optimization, which covers keywords, description, screenshots, icon. They will help you with this. They are gathering a lot of data from the app stores, and they are enabling app developers to just have their apps discovered by appearing higher up in the app stores, both for search and for the charts. So to go and check them out, go to www.gummycube.com. That's www.gummycube.com. And I want to thank GummyCube for just continuing to be such an awesome sponsor of this show. So let me tell you about my fantastic sponsor called Apps Kris. Now, they have been the highest upvoted product on Product Hunt for an app creation tool. They have, so far, as I'm recording this, 589 upvotes. And, it's great because you don't need to take my word for it. Let's just look at some of the comments that are being said about Apps Kris. Brent Summers says, "Looks awesome. What are some of the most popular consumer apps?" And Grant Glass, the founder, says that several popular apps have been created using Apps Kris. We've got Nordstrom, Verizon Wireless, and if you want something fun, The Best Teaser by Tyson Cali. And another comment here by Trey Sims, "Love it. This will lead to great democratization of beautiful interactive marketing, creative content campaigns." And Liam says, "Love to play with this, like the concept already." So loads of people are loving Apps Kris, so what are you waiting for? Go to www.app-press.com. That's www.app-press.com, and thank you very much to Apps Kris for sponsoring this show. Yeah, that's good advice. Now, there's 2 things we like to do, actually, Kris, before we say goodbye. I do this with most guests. Is one, that we like to try and come up with new ideas for businesses or apps. Would you be able to give us a big pain point that you're currently experiencing in your work?
The real pain at the moment is that I'm out of my depth of knowledge. So, as I said, I'm a software engineer, and we're currently building a sales team. I've always been primarily the sales guy, but now we've got a couple sales guys, and it's something that I don't know how to do. So I'm not sure how you solve that problem. If I did, I'd have it solved. But I'm reading a lot of books and trying to learn how to. That's the primary reason why we have a Belgian project manager now. He's taking over so much of my job to manage all the other staff and allow me to focus on sales and building that sales team.
I think you come up with a very interesting idea, and there are some apps that potentially solve this already, but I think there's more room to get to what they say niche down.
Communication is speaking with peers about your business and their ideas. I mean, there's a great website that I joined recently. I haven't been included in a members yet, but it's called where's my brain? A mastermind. So, people have masterminds where they discuss their business plans and how things are going and whatnot. To where you signed up for this, it was really good. It had where's your business at? Are you part-time, are you full-time, estimated revenue. And then kind of like, how important is it for people in the mastermind to be at your level or higher or lower, and if in the same time zone or same country? And I thought hopefully it'll, be able to generate some good people to speak with. I mean, that my best friend is going through a similar journey. We have Skypes regularly and discuss. He's a completely different business, but we discuss each other's businesses all the time and try and throw around ideas of what works and what doesn't, and help each other grow.
Okay, here's the app idea. This is a genius idea, right? There's a lot of different apps that do different things, but there's no app that is dedicated towards masterminds, and then specifically like channels or certain types of mastermind. And if you had like an app that was a curated list of masterminds and then had all the tools within that app, so you could record the conversations during the mastermind and refer back to them when you need to, and you could maybe get when you're having the mastermind, you have a virtual assistant join that mastermind, and they transcribe the content and put that into your notes. How cool would that be?
I'm in. I'm buying it right now.
So what is the one or two apps that you use that you could recommend that you think we may not have come across before?
For a computer geek, I'm not that geeky. I don't really use many apps. I mean, the main thing I use is my Google Calendar on the front page of my. That's on my home screen. That's the main app that I use.
Kris, this has been wonderful. I honestly wish I was there with you, Cambodia. I think I will be pretty close to you at some point, Bali, which is not too far away. And
stone's throw.
But thanks for coming on the show, talking through Ardor. Is there anything you feel that we missed out on, or?
Maybe not at all. I mean, anytime any listeners want to have a chat about SEO, I mean, I live and breathe it. Feel free to contact me anytime, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
How do we do that? How do we contact you?
My direct email is Kris with a K, K-R-I-S, at Ardor, A-R-D-O-R, SEO.com.
Great. And I'll make that sure that goes in episode 321 of the show notes. Kris, wonderful. Enjoy the rest of the day there in Cambodia, and thanks for coming on the App Guy podcast.
Awesome, Paul. Thanks very much.
Just to remind you that this show is sponsored by GummyCube. GummyCube are a big data company that are collecting data into DataCube, which is pulling data from the app stores, Google Play and the Apple App Store. So go and use an App Store optimization company that is getting its data from the app stores and not from web searches, which do not relate really to what's going on in the App Store. Go and check them out. It's www.gummycube.com. Thank you very much to GummyCube. They're just such a great supporter of this show.
Remember to go and check out Apps Kris. They set the stage for a very compelling creative process that lets you build and edit and update a native mobile app, all completely code-free. They have a very clean design, very intuitive interface, so it's just easy to pick up and start building apps. I'm a very big fan of Apps Kris. I'm so glad and honored that they support the show. I do highly recommend that you just go and check them out, have a look at it. You can go and look at all the features by going to www.app-press.com. Thanks very much to Apps Kris for supporting the show. So we're back to the end of another episode, and as always, I've been going through every single review. If you have left me a review and you haven't heard it, then go back to some of the past episodes, try and figure out the date order. I run through them in date order, and I have now got a good way through all my 5 stars. It has been the most inspirational thing I've done in terms of giving myself a big boost from you, my listeners, my Appster tribe. If you haven't left me a review yet, what are you waiting for? It does mean a massive difference to not only me, but to people, helping people find this content and just sharing the love. So if you share my belief in giving back, do it now, give back, leave me a 5-star review. Okay, so let me finish off reading out the 5-star reviews. 23rd of May 2015, and Rules, who I know we've been in contact with, amazing and essential, Australia. I have never encountered a podcast that is just so genuine and keeps things real. It is the essential handbook for every budding and seasoned app entrepreneur. Well, I always try and keep it real, and I really do appreciate your feedback. Now, this is actually the first review from the Republic of Korea, Mix1009, and I'm afraid I have absolutely no idea what that says, but thank you very much for the 5-star review. That is all in Korean. Beautiful language there. I'd love to learn that someday. Okay, so here's the English version, Mix1009 from Australia. And so, best podcast for app developers. There are many technology-based podcasts about app development, but there are not many that is focused on the people making the apps. You can listen to other developers talking about their approaches. Paul interviews app developers and app-related people around the globe, so you can get diverse and interesting stories. There are already more than 300 interviews. Well, thank you very much to my Korean friend, who obviously then has an account in Australia as well. Thank you so much. And here's another 5-star review, 1st of June 2015 from Australia, Rim21, creativity and thought-provoking. I am always looking for ways to expand my knowledge and to help me through a crux with my journey in app development. The App Guy podcast is a valuable resource which often provides that small gem of timely information to help me through. Totally recommend subscribing. Well, Rim21, I really do appreciate the feedback, and I appreciate everyone's feedback. Remember, go and leave me a 5-star review. If hopefully I've made you a little bit guilty because I've read every single review out and you've listened to this show, if for any length of time and you haven't left me a review, well, shame on you. Get a review in your default Apple podcasting app or on iTunes. It makes a big difference. And thanks very much. You do always feel free to get in touch with me. I'm very approachable. You can get me on Twitter, Paul_S_Kemp. That's Paul_S_Kemp, K-E-M-P. Or you can get me on email, paul@theappguy.co, or on my website, theappguy.co, where a lot of stuff is show notes and things, resources, and all the back catalogue as well. So thank you very much for those 5-star reviews, and I look forward to delivering another episode to you shortly. Bye for now.